Hello, it's Rita at Travel Nurse Channel. My apologies, we're running a little late here. Normally we start at 12:30, but we have an hour, so hopefully I can get all the information in. Hope everybody's well, and it's hot. And so, oh, here we go. Here we go, touching the face. Okay, gotta wash my hands. Yeah, even Southern California is a little too hot. We're on the coast and we're in the 80s. So, so stay cool and let's get on with travel do's. What are things that you need to do if you want to be a traveler? And so I've taken information from many travelers. And when I say travelers, I'm talking about healthcare workers that travel for anywhere from 90 days to longer. 13 weeks is traditional, which is 90 days. But sometimes it's longer. Sometimes it's 6 months, and then there's extensions and so forth. So, so let's talk about that. And the A part of this is just some basic criteria to do, and then the B part of this is going to be questions you may want to ask once you're ready to travel and are talking to a hiring manager or recruiter. So let's start there with the do's and knowing what your needs are. That's right. Okay, so say you've never traveled before and you've heard about it, and you just don't know that much about it. Okay, I had brought a scarf this time, so that when my face gets itchy, I was always told if you have an itchy nose, you're going to get in a fight, so I hope that's not true. I think I have an itchy nose because it's dry in San Diego. So if you are considering traveling and you don't know enough about it, you've just heard about it, you've met some nurses at the clinic where you work, or at the skilled facility, or at the hospital, wherever you're working, and some travelers are there, so you're interested. Of course, business is business, and when you're working, but if you can talk to that traveler and offer them a cup of coffee, maybe go on the same break together or meet them before or after work and get more information about it, that's good. But know what you want. Do you want to go to a certain city? Maybe you've always wanted to go to San Francisco if you live nowhere near it, and you think, wow, I could travel to San Francisco. That's something you may want. And then you may want to know, how does it work? Where do I live? Where do I stay? What would work for me? I mean, I live, say, in a nice rural home with big bedrooms and big bay windows and bathrooms and room for my dogs and room for my friends and so forth. So how would that work? How do you want to travel? If you say live in Ohio, you're thousands of miles from, I just a wiggle worm. Remind me of my little granddaughter. I need to get comfortable, relax. I'm sorry I'm late. We're going to get through this. Okay. How am I going to get there? If you're someone that is a regular traveler on planes and so forth, and it's quite a distance, that may be the way for you. But then you're thinking, how do I get around? Well, it's a big city, and they have, metro and buses and trains and trams, and they have amazing people movers in San Francisco. They really do. But what if I want to go to Sausalito, and what if I want to go to Sonoma and, visit some wineries and so forth? So do I want my car? So how am I going to get there? These are the things you need to know personally. Consider, think about what would work for you. And I think an important question that should be addressed sometimes is, sometimes isn't. It's interesting when you're getting new information, what you retain. So if I gave you 5 things to remember right now, and then a half an hour later I asked you those 5 things, Would you retain all 5? If I gave you 10 things to remember, would you retain all 10? So these are things when you're working with obtaining a travel assignment, make notes, have emails, have texts, request it, so you have, say, your 5 most important things that you need. I need to know, can I work in the city? Can I work at this specific hospital? What is the housing? What are the opportunities for housing? Do you offer housing? Do I have to get housing my own? And do you cover my moving expense, my airfare or my gas or whatever? And then this is a big one. And this is one that I think either it's not addressed, it's maybe not confirmed with both the hiring person, or the travel assignment. So it's not squared away with the managers and so forth at the hospital or the long-term facility or the clinic and so forth, and maybe not written anywhere in the contract. So that big question that you want to ask is, what will my schedule be like? Do I have any control over my schedule? In other words, if every Tuesday is my swim day or my dance day or my whatever it is, can I still have my Tuesdays off? That may be, that may or may not happen. It just depends. Usually when the travelers are coming in, they're coming in because there's shortages, people are sick, or people are on furlough or hiatus or sick leave or vacations or something. They really need your help to fill in the blanks and so forth. So for example, people working 12-hour shifts, if you have agreed to, say, a four-day work week, or maybe in a pay period, a 7-day work week, so that means full-time plus, right? Or maybe 8 days. I mean, it depends on what you want and what they need, and somewhere in the middle you shall meet. But know about these things ahead of time. Don't let them be unpleasant surprises. So find out what kind of control you have over your schedule. If working 3 12s in a row or 4 12s in a row is an issue, that is something to discuss with the hiring manager. So that may work at one facility and it may not work at another facility. So these are the things you need to know. If you're interested in working at a university facility, find out if they can meet the things that you want, okay? So that's A, know what you want, okay? B, questions. And then, you know what, I'm gonna make question C. I'm gonna go to the very basics now. And it's a little bit of reiterating knowing what you want, but know what a basic contract's all about. And it may vary a little bit. Excuse me, gotta stay hydrated. Lots of ice. Okay, the basics that many travel companies will provide, and you should know what those are. And I think I talked about this on another broadcast, is that there were over 300, and that's probably not even an accurate number here in mid or almost the last quarter of 2020, or certainly the last second half of 2020, is these are basics that most companies provide, but not all. But maybe there's something that you could work with, that if it's missing, it's something you're willing to work with because you like the recruiter, or they have competitive rates and so forth. So the basics are housing and housing stipends. So they can either provide free housing, and a lot of, I'll throw in this too, a lot of shorter assignments. Say there's a very urgent need, the COVID has hit and so forth, and you're traveling from somewhere in the Arizona area, and you're traveling to New York City, and they are just absolutely desperate. Their travel assignments have overlapped and there's a gap and whatever. So they just want you for 6 weeks or 8 weeks. A lot of times, companies for those shorter assignments will just have you at an extended stay, which is a hotel, motel situation, like an efficiency. And then there's questions you should ask about that. But housing could be free, and they're going to provide that because they really need you to jump in and help out for those 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. Oh, the broadcast ended?
No.
Oh.
You're not coming through.
Oh, I guess there's technical difficulties. Let's try and straighten it out. Are you sure?
Yeah. Let me check it
Okay,
out. Sorry.
that's okay.
I don't know what happened.